Hey everybody, welcome to our second episode of Shredthology. Last week's episode was our first episode, which we talked about finding your stoke that changes you and gives you a new mindset in skateboarding and community through kind of external forces. For me, it was going down to California and skating with the Sunset Sliders. That was what led me to come into my own in the world of stoke. Today's episode, we're gonna kind of go into talking about it and finding it in another way. Instead of finding it through an external force, we're gonna talk about finding it through the internal self. So it's gonna be a great episode. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. First things first, I wanna give a shout out to a homie of mine who makes some really rad shit. And you might be in the know already, if not. City Blights. My bud David Hiltbrand makes these super sick magazines, which are funny as hell, and kind of take a little bit of a spoof angle on downhill skating, which is pretty funny. It's like, if you don't know, then you might not get it, but it'll still be funny, and actually might be more funny if you don't get it, but he does really cool stuff. City Blights Mag. He makes the King of Coast Scavenger Hunt. And also, in his newest issue, Volume 5 of City Blights, he went ahead and put in the entire scavenger hunt list of Rice Fest. Now, Rice Fest, if you don't know, is a citywide scavenger hunt that takes place in San Francisco, California. My first time going down to Rice Fest, I was on Team Humboldt with Sasquatch, my buddy Tyler, my buddy Lex, and Adrian DeKine. And we didn't know anything about the city, but we got a tour of a lifetime, got to check out all these cool spots, do a bunch of ridiculous stuff with our skateboards. I ended up trading shirts with a homeless person to get a bunch of points, and it was one of the best shirts I ever had, and now it's gone. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do for points. So, honestly, you can get this magazine and have your own Rice Fest in your city. Just take out all the challenges that are specific to San Francisco and make your own for your own city. Could be a lot of fun. That also kind of leads me into my next talking point. Going on right now is a worldwide skateboard scavenger hunt event on the app called Goose Chase. It's called the Longboard Goosechase. The IDSA is putting on this event where a bunch of different companies have made their own kind of scavenger hunt points. So you make a team, everyone downloads the app, you take photos, take videos of your attempts. Check out my team with the Knights of Fairview. That's us. Check us out on Longboard Goosechase. We out there getting them points. And the really cool thing about the Longboard Goosechase event is that they are doing it to bring awareness to mental health. You already know this whole year has been very, very taxing on a lot of people mentally. I myself have suffered with anxiety that I never even knew I had, but you know, it takes a pandemic to make you realize what the fuck's going on, right? Yeah, so it's for a good cause. I highly recommend that if you are having trouble and don't know what you're gonna do and need someone to talk to, that you reach out to your friends. And if you don't have any friends you can think of, there are phone numbers you can call for self-help. Please do not do anything that you will regret. There are people there to help you. Please give them a call. It's very important. This is a really hard time, and you know, we need to be there for each other, even if we can't be there for each other. There are other ways to do that, like this podcast, the GoPro. You can find a way, and if you put in the energy, it'll definitely pay off. Your friends need you, so, you know, have their back, like they'll hopefully have yours. That's where we'll start this episode. We're gonna talk about how your mental headspace can lead to amazing things on a skateboard. So, let's talk about something. In downhill skating, there have been many videos and many racers and riders who have just been insanely good. Like, you see them in person and you think, wow, this person is like a superhero. Like, this is not normal. Like, this is inhuman. So how did they get to that point? Like, we all think, like, damn, that's the most stylish skater I've ever seen. How did they get to that point? Well, this is kind of where I think Headspace comes into play. When you're in a good headspace and you're not afraid and you're feeling like you're enjoying what you're doing, you can push past limits. Fear is a very big driving force in downhill skateboarding. A lot of the times we're afraid. And we're afraid because we don't have the confidence in our abilities. So what these people have done to get to this point is they skated what they like to do, and they skated within their boundaries, and they skated a lot. Every day they went out and they pushed their limits. They skated as close to their limits as possible. People who have done ultra skates, people who have done range skating races, people who have done 150-foot slides, stand-up slides. Like, this is something that is achieved through grace. And grace is ease of movement in doing what you're doing. And you get there by becoming comfortable on your board. And once you become comfortable, you can surpass your fears. And once you do that, you enter into a new realm of skateboarding possibilities. And that is what we see when we see James Kelly skating at 60 miles an hour, free riding at 50 miles an hour in mountains that you would never have thought someone could free ride. Or when you see Cole Trotta blasting down a hill, doing the gnarliest slides on the gnarliest runs in the country, and you're just in awe, you're awestruck. So when you find what you like to do, that could be skating curbs, that could be range skating, that could be skating driveways, skating San Francisco hills, skating the fastest hills you could possibly find, chunder bombing, garages, dancing. You find that you enjoy it and you're gonna push yourself. So this is kind of what I like to talk about next, is like the niches in skating, and who's done it in a way that has been just like amazing to watch. But we'll start off with city slashing. Now, if you know anything about city slashing, it's that everything is tight and confined, and sliding changes. You don't slide on a consistently graded hill going down. No, you slide on a steep embanked driveway that is about maybe 10 to 12 feet long, and you slide down that. Or you slide into a curb cut. Or you get out on the road, slide, dive back in, kick out a slide right before you hit a berm of someone's driveway porch, and then zip back out. Now, a couple of skaters who I think did this the best that I've ever seen and just found grace in it, which is a pretty gnarly thing to say because it's a really gnarly style of skating, and to find yourself graceful in that situation is saying something. So I'm going to put up a couple links to the videos so you can watch it out for yourself. First up is one of my favorite skaters of all time, Aaron from the Block, also known as AFB, Aaron Grulich. He was coming up in the mid-2000s, rode for ABEC 11, Caliber trucks, Arbor skateboards, Jet skateboards for a while. This guy just had the most aggressive but graceful style attacking cityscapes. He would be blasting down a sidewalk at 30 miles an hour, no fear, launch into the road, do a huge slide, and then just bomb all the way down through an intersection and just be gone. And you would just be like, what the fuck did I just see? Or he'd be coming into a driveway, you think he's gonna slide, but no, he just ollies this 40-inch board over this gap that's like 7 feet and just easily just lofts it, floats like a bird, just lands that shit and rides away. it was just something amazing to see. Someone with so much intensity and speed and like gnarliness turn the city into a sort of playground. It was insane. So go watch AFB's video in the links below. Next up, we're talking about Eric Jensen. Eric Jensen is a homie. He rode with the Sliders for a long time, originally from Ontario, I think, and lives in Vancouver now. He's doing a bunch of dirt bike stuff, mountain biking. Good for you, buddy. This guy was like changing what we thought was possible on a longboard. Like, he was blending the world of San Francisco city slashing on a street deck with longboarding. He was skating a super big double kick, sliding in and out of driveways like no problem, boosting gaps, just making lines that were just beautiful to witness, and it was super fun to skate with. He's got some super epic runs. There's like one video of him bombing Rivera in the sunset with a follow car that Skatehouse Media put out. You can see that in the links below. And then he came out with a video, which I think was one of the best videos ever filmed by Chubbs, called City Lines for Caliber Trucks. It's a really sick video. It just shows him slashing all these super steep sidewalks, getting in and out of driveways really quick. And then he'll do like a trick, and then the scene will transition to him doing the same trick on another line. And it'll just like stitched together in like such quick succinctness. It was so sick. It was just like a style that you never really got to see. Like in a city like San Francisco, witnessing something like that is special. And having the opportunity to see someone in their own in the city on a skateboard, whew, damn, some good stuff. So go check out those videos of Eric, the blueberry farmer. Yeah. Next, I want to talk about rain skating. What the fuck's up with rain skating? If you don't know, it's the best kept secret in downhill skateboarding, and now you know. The Pacific Northwest is kind of like a bubble. Like, no one really knows what the heck is going on in the Pacific Northwest. Like, everyone knows through races that if you're skating against someone from the Pacific Northwest, you've got your licks cut out for you, because you're gonna have a hard time. And no one really knows this, but the Pacific Northwest is home to some of the gnarliest skaters in the world. Why? Because they have just one of the most harshest climates ever to skate in. Like 4 months out of the year you get nice sun, 8 months out of the year you get rain and darkness. And you gotta skate. So I live here and I've seen them firsthand. Like, people who skate DIYs under bridges, destroying shit, melting mines, doing this shit like it's child's play. And then you get out and you're on a longboard and you're skating a hill. Well, you already know you're gonna slide forever. But you don't wanna get hit by cars, and you wanna make the corners of your runs, and you wanna have fun. So you just fucking put your hands on the ground and slide forever. And then after a while, you kind of figure out this is how you do it. Like, this is it. Like, you find out the form, and you get that grace that comes with sliding at high speeds. And then they had a Danger Bay slide competition in the rain, and everyone saw what was up. It's mind-blowing shit. I'm gonna post a link below. Danger Bay, yeah, one of those. A couple other niches where people find grace in that are surprising is like super fast downhill. Once you get going that fast, sometimes you just enter a meditative state. Everything slows down and you feel comfortable. Like, I don't know how I could tell you this, but sometimes you're going into a corner that's a hairpin at 50 miles an hour, and there's 3 cars coming up, and all your homies are next to you, and you somehow manage to slide, hit the apex, and roll through that corner with style and grace, and everything's fine. That takes a certain type of mindset. You need to do that a lot, and it's hard to get there because it's a dangerous sport, but if you're dedicated, shit happens. Freestyle dancing, that shit's going off right now, and it's been going off. One of the first videos I'm going to talk about in a little bit, I ever saw was Whirling Dervish, and it just showed poetry in motion on a longboard. Like, I never really thought about longboarding before I saw that video as anything but just cruising in a straight line and not really turning, but nah, these guys showed that you can do things on a board that are just awe-inspiring. You can dance on a skateboard. And now there's companies like Paris and Air Trucks and a couple other ones that are just, they've found some super special human beings that have just been on their skateboard for probably more times a day than they walk. And you can see something special in that. And there's a lot of really unique things going on in the world of dancing right now. So you think you can longboard dance, check out Air Truck's Instagram. It's just mind-blowing shit. You know, finding your niche and finding what you like to do can lead to great things happening. And these people who have found this have been pushing the sport, like it or not even like they wanted to. It just kind of happened. And luckily for us, we got some of that shit on video. So I'm gonna go in and talk about the next portion of our show, the videos that were captured of these people finding grace and getting that self-inspired stoke by doing what they love on a skateboard that moved mountains. It moved downhill skating in the direction it goes in today. There's so many videos that have been put out now that have just shown people what downhill skating is. And it's showing the level of skill it's around now. It's showing what people like to do and don't really care what other people think of them doing. Please watch some of the videos I'm about to talk about, because these are the ones that really kind of helped longboarding find its footing in our generation. And it changed the perspective of what downhill skating is. And if you don't know, then you should. And if you do know, then you know. So let's get into it. Let's talk about some people who made some videos that changed longboarding. I'm gonna start pretty far back, so bear with me here. First video that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Blue Suit Bombers, Sector 9, Second Nature. This video is insane. There's two guys who are nonchalantly in suits that are blue, bombing hills, neck and neck, right next to each other in the Sierra Nevadas and Berkeley, and they're passing a camera around. What? They're passing a camera to and from each other and just having a good time on their skateboards, hauling ass down these hills. It really shows that they're in their own little world. Everything around them is moving fast, but where they are in their space, they are just like hanging out at 50 miles an hour in suits, passing a camera around. That shit was insane. When this video first came out, I think it just showed what people could do. Like, it gave people the first kind of like look into downhill skating, not as like a racing element, but as a hobby, like something you do to have fun. And like, you don't have to be going as fast as you can and like crashing into hay bales. You can just be chilling, but also going really freaking fast with your homie next to you in a suit. So that one's a good one. Check out Second Nature if you haven't already. It's freaking insane. The next video that I think is monumental in longboarding and helped it find its place, and was the first video that I ever saw. This one by Adam Colton and Adam Skokowski, longboarding by Loaded Boards, Whirling Dervish. Now, as a person who had never skated on a longboard, I didn't really know what the heck was going on, but my buddy Sasquatch showed me this video, and the first thing you see in this video is just a dude in the woods chucking a board on the ground. The board looks crazy. It's like cambered. It looks super flexy. It's got drop through trucks. And then dude just jumps on it and just starts wiggling and moving and bouncing around on it. And it just looks so fun. Like, I want to do that. Like, this is something that I can do. I can carve around in the woods, just bouncing around on this trampoline of a skateboard. I can, like, maybe do a cross step. I could maybe do a slide like they're doing, but I don't know, like, even if I can't, like, just bouncing around and carving and pumping like this is like, it looks like a great time. So I'm about it. Whirling Dervish by Loaded Boards. It, I think, made longboarding look way less kooky and way more fun than it ever had in my life. Yeah, shit. Some cool music too, just super chill. All right, now, next video, also by Loaded Boards, with Kyle Chin, filmed by Adam Colton. This one is Let Go. Yeah, we all know it. It's the video that made you want to bomb hills. And why? Why though? You see this dude skating this insane hill that has like turns and hairpins and big drops and banking corners and cliffs all over the place, but that's not what we're paying attention to. We're not looking at all the gnarly chaos going on. We are looking at how this dude is just in the zen, calm, collected, enjoying himself in the teeth of a lion, for lack of a better saying. Like, I think Let Go was very, very paramount to showing people that downhill skateboarding didn't have to be sketchy and dangerous. It could just be chill and not terrifying. Like, you could do this. Like, you know, this dude's doing it. He's doing big pre-drifts into hairpins, and he's making it look like he's just walking a dog. Like, what? Okay, so obviously, Kyle Chin, Let Go. One of the better movies ever made. Next one that I think helped change a lot of stuff was We Got Them Perps by Louis Poloni, Patrick Switzer, Kevin Reimer, and James Kelly, also Loaded Boards, also filmed by Adam Colton. This video was a bunch of dudes in purple shirts and purple pants on purple wheels, bombing some gnarly hills with the squad. The homies were all packed up, ripping down hills, not crashing into each other, keeping it under control, having a fucking good time. Basically, they were partying going down a hill. So this got people thinking, okay, you can bomb hills and do gnarly slides, and you can do it with your friends 5 feet from you. It's possible. These guys showed what the fuck was up, and everyone was on board with it after that. We Got Them Perps by Loaded. This video was a good one. I didn't end up seeing it till like way later, but even watching it after I've seen a lot of shit, I still was just like, damn, if this was like the first time people have ever seen like pack riding and sliding on gnarly roads, like, this would have gotten me freaking hyped to go do it. It was sick. This video, which is possibly the GOAT, this shit right here, this shit was something that made everything just shift. It made it go back on track, and it made us all realize, like, oh, this is not something that we signed up for, but it's here, and it's freaking awesome. By Blake Smith and Bass Sessions, Josh Torres, and Comet Skateboards, featuring Byron Assert, Metaphysical. This video showed Byron skating the gnarliest terrain and doing the gnarliest slides. And this was just like early days of sliding and like getting into like all that stuff. Like, this video showed Byron doing switch slides and sliding into big corners in the Bay Area just hucking it, floating for days, and just like, this is free riding. This is like the top tier free riding shit. Like, if you want to free ride, like, this is the shit that you're gonna have to fucking try to do, because this is like what's possible. It just showed what was possible free riding. And Byron's a dude who has probably gone through some shit on a skateboard and figured it out. Like, I just gotta be calm, just gotta be collected. Like, fear's there, but you know what, I'm gonna deal with it as it comes, and I'm not gonna let it stop me. And metaphysical is kind of what you got. Byron, big ups to Byron. Can we talk about J.M. Duran real quick? Now, J.M. Duran is a dude who oozes style and grace and just looks like he's having fun. Like, you've probably seen it at a playground, or like maybe at like a track event. Like, there's always that kid who is just going so hard and like making it work. Like, you're like, oh shit, that was gnarly. Oh shit, that was gnarly. I'm scared watching this dude, but I can't look away because it's freaking incredible. J.M. Duran was taking it to the limit in the city of SF and in the Bay Area, and just showcasing that you could turn your terrain into your own playground. You could take on the gnarliest terrain and just make it butter. Like, you could turn a super gnarly steep sidewalk with tracks and rails going through it and people walking everywhere into a bunny hill if you just flowed like JM does. Burn It Down by James Kelly. Holy shit. Burn It Down, yo. So this video came out in 2014, and I'm pretty sure at this point everyone just felt like they were getting flexed on pretty hard. Like, there was a definite, this was like a video that if you don't watch downhill skating, you don't know what the fuck's going on. But if you do watch downhill skating, then you are just, you can't look away. Your jaws drop to the floor. It's James Kelly free riding and downhilling, doing stand-up slides at 60 miles an hour. Like, this is what a person who has practiced and put everything they have into their craft and are trying to push the limits of what's possible on a skateboard and no bounds. Like, James Kelly was throwing down some of the fastest, steeziest, hectic slides on some of the biggest, fastest, gnarliest roads in this video. And you can just watch it and see that, like, this is just something that you don't get to see very often in life. And the fact that we got to see this video by James Kelly and see him push downhill skating to such extremes is, like, awesome. So thank you, James. That was dope as hell. Watching you crash at 60 miles an hour reminded me to wear knee pads for life. So, yeah, dude. I'm sorry that happened to you, but thank you again for taking one for the team. Let's talk about Striker and Wrist Canyon, a Skatehouse Media video. Let's say you've never watched downhill skating before and you don't really know what's up. Here's a dude who's a really big guy with no shoes on, riding an Evo down a Colorado highway, going like 60 miles an hour on Chunder, and just like laughing his freaking face off as he does it. Seeing Striker skate this run was really, really good for the soul, because it showed that you can be an oddball in longboarding. You can do some weird shit in longboarding and downhill, and it's freaking amazing. I think if anyone has done more for downhill skateboarding than Striker, then they are just in a league of their own, because This dude went to hell and back to make downhill skateboarding what it is, and he made it open to everybody. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you like to do, you can be weird as fuck. And downhill skaters are fucking weird. And skaters in general are fucking weird. But seeing him bomb this hill with no shoes on an Evo going like 6 miles an hour, I was just like, thank you for your fucking weirdness, Striker. Holy shit. That was a good fucking rip. I just want to give some shout outs to some skaters who I'm not going to talk about, but I think are doing a real good job and have the potential to push skateboarding in a different direction, and, you know, keep it going. I'm going to talk about Dominic Schenk from Switzerland is killing it right now. He's been killing it on the fast freeride game for years. He's the guy in Europe who's at downhill skateboarding races and leathers doing full send stand-up slides into corners. Like, no one asked for it, no one expected it, but he brought it to the table. Fuck yeah, Dominic Schenk, you're the man. Norman Plant, this dude, Mids Lord, is the dude who is just fucking always gonna make you turn heads at a skating event. Like, he's just there with style and intensity and speed and just like dedication to the craft. Like, Norman Plant has done a lot for downhill skating, and yeah, he continues to do a lot for downhill skating. So Norm, you're the fucking man. Thank you for all you do, dude. Cole Trotta, this kid grew up skating with some of the best downhillers in the world, and he's finally come of age where he can put it down in front of the camera on the daily and no one's gonna like not watch it. Like, he is like pretty much the generation that grew up watching the gnarliest downhill skating had to offer, and now he's out there throwing it down in the hills in North Carolina and SoCal and NorCal. Hopefully we see this kid all over the world soon because he's killing it. He's got a lot of talent. I'm stoked to see this kid skate any fucking day of the week. You ever see Cole Trotta at an event, take some time to say thank you for all you do for skateboarding, and you're stoked, and take a run with him. I'm sure you'll have a good time. This is a video by Red Dirt Motion, and the homies at Red Dirt Motion, Kayvon Zamanian, Chase Hiller, Lars Troutwine, and a few others. This video, Recollections, was freaking gnarly. Like, all the skating in this video was just insanely good on insanely sick runs in Europe. Chase Hiller skating Kozakov, no hands. I still remember the first time I saw this video where Chase is coming in to a big lefty. He's goofy. He busts out the biggest fucking toe side stand up and hooks up perfectly in the corner. And at that point, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna. Okay, hold up. I gotta watch this. I gotta sit down and watch this shit. And then next corner does like a 45, 50 foot Roman candle, which is a no paw down grab rail toe side. This was something that I had never seen before. A super high speed, super techie trick that was incorporated into a line. And I think once I saw that, it was like, I was reminded that like, whoa, downhill skating is gnarly. And like, this is what people are doing these days. Like, oh boy, this is intense. So yeah, go watch that video. It's got some good shit. Good job, Red Dirt Motion, on that one. I just think that video made free riding at high speeds, like downhill speeds, the norm. And it showed that if you can do giant like toe side stand-up slides into corners on downhill runs out of a tuck, then you really had some work to do. And you know, you don't have to do the work, but you could. Venom Bushings put out a video a few years ago of Dylan Hepworth, and it was called Full Send. This video was, I think, the prelude to what became one of the biggest changes in downhill skateboarding in the past 10 years. Dude is sending it down one of the fastest, burliest runs in North America on an Evo, and he's stand-up sliding it. Like full speed stand-up slides on an Evo. Everyone knows what an Evo is. It's a big ass drop board by land yachts, big ass wedge in the front, big ass D-wedge in the bed, highway bomber. And this kid is taking this board 60 miles an hour, doing stand-up slides that are heinously large into big ass corners on a super gnarly run. And it was refreshing. Like, I hadn't seen a good video of someone sending it so hard stand-up for a while. And this video made me be like, okay, Dylan Hepper's on some shit. So I need to watch this kid and see what he's up to. And then I did. And what happened after that was just absolutely insane. Dylan Hepworth let the world know that he could skate almost any downhill run, full speed, switch, doing stand-up slides at downhill speeds. So the bar was here, which was like full speed downhill runs regular. And then he was just like, nah, I'm up here and I'm going up there. And I don't care what you guys are doing over there, but I'm going to do a big ass switch toe side into this big ass corner at Tuna. And yeah, you could take it or leave it. But I think a lot of people took that because that kid was blowing people's minds for a good 2 years. Just every video party dropped. Switch. Downhill. Switch fish. Switch brass. Switch anything you want. Like, oh my God. And he was at Giant's Head doing switch runs in the packs with people. Like, where do we go from here, guys? I don't know. But it all kind of comes back to my original point that if you find what you like and you stick to it and find those walls that you will come across and navigate them with some level of grace and do what you can at the moment to navigate that situation and make that fear go away so that that becomes your new normal, then you're going to be stoked out. And finding that niche of the skateboarding that you like to do, whether that's rain skating, dancing, freestyle, downhill, fast freeride, switch freeride, skate park, anything. Just find what you like to do, stick to it, and find grace in it, you know? Hone it, find ease, find what feels good, and just know that that style is there. If you can find a way to make what you're doing feel good, then you're gonna find a way to have a good time on your skateboard. One more little bit of information I gotta leave you with. Please, 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 please. If you see something in the world that you don't vibe with or think is good, do something about it. Change it. If you see some trash on the ground at a skate spot and you think, dang, that sucks that people drop trash. Instead of thinking that, think, I'm gonna pick up this trash. I'm gonna do something about it now. Because you gotta be the change you wanna see in this world. If you want something to be a way, find a way to make it so through your own life. You can't expect other people to do it for you. And there isn't enough time to expect them to come around to it eventually. Take the time to go out of your way to do something about it. Make decisions that you want to see happen, because that's the quickest way to make it happen, y'all. Just do it. Do it yourself. DIY. If you want a skate park to be built in your city, then do whatever you can to make that skate park built in your city. Don't wait for someone else to do it, because it might never happen. If you see some trash on the ground or see some trash in the river, don't hope that someone else might come pick it up. Pick it up. Do something about it. All right, guys. Go check out those videos. They're good shit. They are heavier than the people who are part of them knew at the time they were going to be. All those videos are right down there. You can go check them out. This has been another episode of Shredthology with Kurt. That's me. go join Longboard Goosechase. Look for our team, the Knights of Fairview. Shit, it's about that time. I gotta get out there and get some points. Peace. Have a good one.